Now it's time to introduce our next guest, our special guest, economist Dr. Laurence Kotlikoff, a professor at Boston University and president of MaxFi, a personal finance planner which is available on maxfi.com. Dr. Kotlikoff, great to have you back with us here on The Income Generation.
Great to be with you, David and Jeff. I love talking to you guys.
Dr. Kotlikoff, Congress is doing it again. They are messing around with Social Security, IRAs, required minimum distributions, but specifically the Secure Act 2.0 is they're trying to accelerate the required minimum distribution age to age 75. Why in the world would they do that? What is the benefit of doing that other than political cannon fodder, which is what seems to be their mode of operandi anyway?
Yeah, you know, so many people think that the best way to deal with your retirement finances is to wait as long as possible, take your retirement account money, and to get by taking Social Security early. This is generally a huge mistake because Social Security pays an absolutely safe, enormous return from being patient for most people. I would say 80% of people. And you also, during this period, if a lot of people are retiring early. Most, Americans are retired by 65, 66. So from that period between that age and 70, when most people should be waiting to take Social Security, at least their retirement benefit, you've got this period where your marginal tax, your tax bracket's low, and you want to be taking retirement account distributions then. Instead, people think, well, let me take Social Security first. I'll leave the money in the stock market in my 401k and it'll make a killing. Well, the stock market has been making a killing, but it can kill you because it's historically, extremely volatile. And in the 2008, 2009, it fell 53%. It fell 86% in the early 30s. It fell 50% in 2000, 2002. So, if it starts to drop like that dramatically, people will panic, and they'll have much lower Social Security for the rest of their life, and they'll be out of the stock market because they've panicked. And
well, I think Dr. Kotlikoff, I think you nailed it, because the reason why they want to punt on required distributions is to keep money from coming out of the market. That's why they moved it from age 70 and a half to 72. They didn't really do anything for the American people. They're doing it for themselves, so money doesn't come out of the stock market, so the stock market will stay static. Because if there's $500 billion coming out of the market from RMDs, guess what that is? That's a pretty large fraction of the total market cap. That's a lot of money coming out. They don't want that money coming out during their election years.
I mean, I think, there's a lot, if you look at who contributes to these committees of Congress on these issues, it's the big banks, and the banks are keen on keeping the money inside these accounts so they can manage it and charge fees. But we want to take the money out earlier so we can pay lower taxes on a lifetime basis when we're in lower tax brackets. That's what Roth conversions are partly about, even though you're paying more taxes. But if you're in a lower tax bracket in these years, but also just using the money so that you can delay taking Social Security. This can mean hundreds of thousands, maybe even $100,000, $150,000 for a typical middle-class couple doing it this way versus the other way. And it's perfectly safe. So I would be, the stock market is not for sure. The market is telling us right now that after you adjust for risk in the stock market, the return is negative. Yeah. So the stock market right now is perceived as the market is viewed as extremely negative, risky. And if you want to, it's one thing if you understand that risk. It's another to think that you take a look at historical returns on stocks and they've done really well.
Dr. Kotlikoff, once again, it's been our pleasure having you. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.